You see, we have this phenomenon for the first time in the geological record, the first time that we've had such warming at such rates and in the context now of people populating the planet.
Somewhere along the way in our history, we decided that we could control nature, and in fact, we can't.
Maybe the prophets are right. They don't all seem to agree exactly on the same dates, but there certainly seems to be an underlying connecting thread between prophecy and catastrophic earth changes and global warfare around the turn of the century. However, they speak of an enlightened, peaceful golden age immediately following these apocalyptic events. But first, we all have to change the way we think.
In the past, we've become separated from the natural world. We manipulate the natural world. We sit in our air-conditioned offices and nature is outside us. And clearly, I think there's a case to be made that unless we do rediscover our roots with nature, we're in for big trouble.
It's not so much that we have to all go back to living in huts again and hunting here and there and gathering, as much as it is that we need to think like hunters and gatherers again.
Mankind doesn't like to change. We've got to change our thinking, we've got to change our way of life. Instead of simply being focused upon my needs and the needs of my immediate family and the acquisition of material wealth, we have to stop and think about the needs of everyone.
We can't consume at the rate we're consuming. Nobody can really keep up with the stress that we're required to operate under, and because it's unnatural. And in the end, you can do a lot of unnatural things for a long time, and then one morning you've got a hell of a hangover and you think, wait, I better go back to tofu and, suck up some of this spirulina and, straighten up. So it's really, the whole world's got to go back to sort of a sensible diet of simplicity and a more spiritual way of operating.
The native prophecies from a variety of sources throughout the world tell us over and over that if we don't wake up to the change and meet that drumbeat as we should, that climate will change for us to get our attention.
As Hurricane Hugo slammed into Puerto Rico, its winds of more than 200 kilometers an hour sheared power poles and filled the air with debris.
The storm roared through in the early morning, pushing big seas onto the coast. An amateur cameraman captured these pictures as the weather reached its worst in the west of England.
It's going to be cataclysmic for the Earth as a cleansing, but then a reemergence of a time period of at least a millennium of the kind of a planet we always wanted. It's a period of peace and harmony and cooperation. My visions indicate that it lasts a lot longer than 1,000 years.
And so what we're facing is really a new birth for the planet, renewal of the environment, and for ourselves, a new form of a new improved humanity.
It seems that in order to effect change, we not only have to be more aware of how we treat our planet, but how we treat our fellow man. Both visionaries and scientists all seem to be telling us that how we imagine our future is how it will be.
Choice plays the major role in what the next millennium will be about.
Man doesn't understand that the power of the mind is immense. What we think, we create. If we can change our thinking, we can change our life.
The purpose of prophecy is to warn us so that if we don't like the prophesied outcome, we can use our free will to change the course of destiny.
A carriage without horse will go. Disaster fill the world with woe. In water, iron then shall float as easy as a wooden boat. For in those wondrous far-off days, the women shall adopt a craze to dress like men, and trousers wear, and to cut off their locks of hair. They'll ride astride with brazen brow, as witches do on broomstick now. When pictures seem alive with movements free, when boats, like fishes, swim beneath the sea, when men like birds shall scour the sky, then half the world, deep drenched in blood, shall die. For those who live the century through, in fear and trembling, this shall do: flee to the mountains and the dens, to bog and forest and wild fens. Not every soul on earth will die as the dragon's tail goes sweeping by, but the land that rises from the sea will be dry and clean and soft and free of mankind's dirt, and therefore be the source of man's new dynasty. And before the race is built anew, a silver serpent comes to view, and spew out men of like unknown to mingle with the earth, now grown cold from its heat. And these men can enlighten the minds of future man, to intermingle and show them how to live and love, and thus endow the children with the second sight, a natural thing, so that they might grow graceful, humble, and when they do, the golden age will start anew.